Hello. So let's start. I think that it's already enough time. Yeah. So I'm relocated, and this is the main reason why it's no task this week. Also, Edmund said that he's also very busy, so that's also contributed. So just saying that they probably the next task, and as I've planned, would be the next Wednesday. And this today we just discuss the previous one. That's it. So let's start with the very short, brief revising what was the task and what was the complexity of it. So what you can see here? No, I didn't share anything. Let me share. Yes. From yes. Yeah, now we can see. So what we wanted to work with a little bit with the uh, liquidity pools and liquidity pool data. And here you see that for this task, to make it more manageable, we selected just the Meteora, USDC, USDT pools. Actually, there could be many of them. And we wanted to calculate just the position duration. And the idea was that we want to track opening and closing of the positions, and some of them, like it should be at least one activity for like probably it's at least the um, putting liquidity on and withdrawing the liquidity from liquidity pool. And what was important that every time you make like as a liquidity provider, every time as you contribute to pool, you are probably make a new position, and then you can close it. For each of these positions, we want to have this duration, this like calculation of duration. The one thing which wasn't clearly said, like the Edmund, when the Edmund wrote it, he have in mind that we only want the closed position, actually, like he said that he handled positions that are still active. That what I understood here, that we want to just care, like to have the attention to them and to give them with the nulls if they are not closed yet. And what Edmund actually meant that we just don't want them, and that in the end, what we decided to do, we just if the participant as me have such positions, we just remove these positions from the consideration, only like focusing on the ones that are closed. And this way, our solutions are exactly the same. And most of the successful solutions, they're close to one, and showed it a little bit later. But it means that more or less everybody get the same on this part. But for the not closed, we just don't score it. I think it's like given that it clearly was easy to understand it both ways. I think it's fair. Yeah. So what was interesting about this thing, one, that there is actually Dune tables for such parsed contracts, even though they are not super nice. You need to deep more than for the curated tables, but you can get a lot of interesting data from there and get the job done, right? So in order to work with it, you needed to actually look what events this contract has and to understand which are important or not, or you can try to find some examples of working with this data and to get it from there. The both should work for you, and from what I understand, Edmund mostly wrote the query from ground up, and I took another person old query and added some events that I needed and refactored it to simplify. So both of the could work. Yeah, so let me go to the solution, maybe show this and discuss it. So how my solution looks in the end. Can you see it actually? Oh, okay. Can you see, is it big enough? Is it, okay. Maybe somebody from the people who are looking right now can write a text or have a mic on and say if it's big enough to read. Okay. No response yet. I hope it's big enough. Let's just continue. Yeah, so basically the task was to identify the liquidity pools. Inside them, liquidify open positions, and inside the open positions, some more events. That's it, like to understand how it could be done. And let's start with the end, I guess. Yeah. Like for the liquidity pools, there is this union of two different type of events that could result in the liquidity pool. This initialized liquidity pool liquidity pair and the second one. So I can't say that I understand fully. I just try to find all that could be result in liquidity pool. And here we filter only USDT, USDC, or USDT. These two conditions. Yeah, and here after this, open positions. Here, more or less, like this is the only way, like the only way I found that it could be the position could be initialized. And then there's like some amount of different events that could result in adding of the liquidity to the position for the wallet. This add liquidity by strategy, add liquidity two, add liquidity by strategy one side, add liquidity by weight, add liquidity one side. Yeah, so that the to understand that all of these are could be from what I understand, first of all, the contract evolved at some point, I think in the early of this year. So there could be more events that it should be because some of them are not used right now. For example, I think that add liquidity one side and liquidity by weight and liquidity by strategy one side is no longer used, and instead use these two. But I can't guarantee this. I just saw that up to some point, from what I remember, there was no method with two at all, and then they added them, and after this, the events are also starting using them. Yeah. So here's the same logic for the opening events. We only consider in time, transaction ID, and position, and limiting April and May, because like we want to open positions from April, so the event could be in April, but we also want any event from May because it is was a part of it should be opened in April, but the events of closing or the liquidity, any other event could be in May. So for the opening, these events, for closing, again, two different events, close position 2 and close position if empty. Yeah, again, and again, we are only considering that in April or May. Yeah. And then we are just basically union. So we are taking all of this, but so for every position created, we are gathering all the events that are either at liquidity or close position. So initially, I have different. So because I started with the more wider example from the person who is clearly working a lot with these liquidity tables. So it was old, so there was no, some of the events, new events were not there, but for the rest, like there was the claim fees and all the rest, I excluded them all because I just was interested in events that having at least one operation, like at least they add liquidity, because you can't do actually anything without liquidity with the position. So just filter it by the add liquidity. And I think that Edmund did a little bit different, but the result is the same. Yeah. So only filtering by add liquidity and close position. Yeah, and then here for me, I am filtering all the events with at least one add liquidity. But again, that could be a little bit different with very, like either very similar result or just the same result. Like again, I would post both my and the query of Edmund, so you can compare. That actually could be done like in different ways, but resulting in the same. Here, the most different part is here, that for my solution, if the position is not closed, it's still presented. Yeah, so with the null duration is with the null closing time. But I mean, it's easily could be like during the scoring, I just remove. So I guess that's about it. Yeah. So just here, just selecting the max actually here has no effect for the opening and closing because it's just one event always for the position. Yeah. 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 I mean, do you have any questions on the solution? Maybe. Yeah. There's a little bit strange. Usually more activity. Okay. So so if you don't have any questions on this, should be more I think we should move on to the results, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no question
So
from me. We can move
I
on to
see.
that.
But I can hear you now. Can you repeat, please?
Yeah, I said no question from my end. We
Huh.
can move to that.
I
No
see
question.
the green box around you, but for some reason I see no, here nothing. Let me try again. Yeah, I'm really sorry about this. Can you write in text? Because maybe I just uh, have something with my headphones, because I definitely saw you uh, like the green rectangle around you. So you're saying something, but I hear like nothing for some reason. Okay, now I see it. These and the system settings, I have the right external device, but in Zoom, I have I have the audio for my head, not for my headphones, but for the monitor, so I can hear anything. So can you just okay? So I see that in text you already wrote that you have no question. Okay, so let's move on. So for this task, I think, I mean, there are no questions, and I think it was, I show you the results and maybe comment a little bit on this. So this is, yeah, so that there was 5 solutions. And I rechecked the Adam's solution, but after the removing the nulls, there's still like it's still 0. Like it was just 15 non-null positions. But for the rest, yes, I'm not sure why, but I see that they are not exactly the same in sense of the there are some records I didn't actually check because it's very close. So after removing the nulls, they are almost 100% same, but there's still some. I think that might be because of the some more rare events, like because yes, when I showed the query, there are some events that maybe not in my query, and they're in yours, and I'm missing them, or it's other way around, like it's in your like I haven't these events in my query, but yours they are not parsed, but they're so rare, so they just less. For example, here is just 0.5%, here 2%, so it's not important, I think. I mean, so there are 3 solutions that are having almost sorry, almost 100%, and 2 solutions that basically all the like around 10 non-null positions that are duration for them we have, and for the like the full solution it's around 1,000 of the positions, so it means something is missing. So I'm not sure what's wrong, but I mean you probably know, like if you compare with the current solution, what's missing. So this is about it, about the results, and I will send the prizes right after the meeting. Yeah, you have a query, like a question? Let's hear it.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, can we look at one of the people that scored low and look at like what they did wrong? Maybe they didn't get
Yeah.
what they.
I'm not sure because the Zoom names and names from Telegram or Discord, they're usually not the same. Are you interested in some specific solution or just
Oh,
try?
okay. My solution is the first one, so we can
Let's try it. Let's try it, because I mean I'm not getting into code, but I mean you're probably interested why it's not working. Let's try to find it. So first of all, let's analyze the blocks. I mean, reading this first time, so it may take a little bit time. So that you see that again we have this initialized position, right? Yeah, okay, and we are filtering for specific like specific pair. Just to have this in mind. For now, I see the first difference is that in my solution, for example, there was a set of pairs that are just that were taken from the table that maybe they are not at the same, so not just this one, but we don't know. I mean, it might be one significant pool, maybe more. From what I know, that at least 2 with a significant amount of positions, but I mean, you can later explain why you choose this one. The close events, we have the close position, and the same. I think that there could be different type of events for the close the position. For example, if we go in here, at least for what I found significant ones, the close position 2 and close position if empty. And here we see that the close position only And I think this is the old one, which is not used so often right now. That maybe it was the, let's just try, just as a, I mean, try to, what if we are just replace this one, close position, with close position 2, and see if it would improve or not. But can I just run it? No, I can't. Why? Let me. It should. I think I should. Okay, let's just fork it. Let's just fork it and try the same, but one moment. It's gonna be. So why I'm focused on the close position? Because from what I see, that you have only 16 positions. And I think this is important because, for example, if you don't have the close position, you will filter it out. So if it's not the right event, for example, that maybe there almost all of them are missing. Sorry, for some reason it's just hanging instead of. Okay, now it's working. It's weird. So while it's running, let's just go through it until the end. And then here we have initialize position, liquidity and remove liquidity, claim fee, close position. Okay, so again, like I think the difference is that only here, yeah, the I just, to make it more consistent, I will run in both these places. I will use the close position 2, which I think is the main event for the closing position right now. But for this also, the events, that is not, I think this is not the only one event for initializing position and for adding, removing liquidity, and so that there seems different type of events that are not presented here that could be important. I mean, that not all of them are used very frequently. Let's also try with this one. Close position if empty. I think this one is also very important. Let's try it. It's working very fast. So I think that if we are considering only the close position and the like this add liquidity, remove liquidity, and claim fee, we definitely missing some events that are in, like, that are actually generated right now or during April or May. So I mean, this might. Okay. So if we are, I think that now we understand that the most important event for closing position is close position if empty, which is the old one, but it's. I mean, so this contract has many different like methods to actually close the position, and some of them working in different cases. And now we see that at least the close position if empty is generating the most of it. So now it's 800 results, and I think that if it would be this, the score would be completely different. Actually, we can try it as well. Why not? Just, I mean, I can show you how it works a little bit. So yeah, now I'm renaming this just to have, yeah, okay, just the test. Name it test. And I have this compare. Let's run this. And for example, if we use this more relevant why? Okay. If you use this more relevant close position if empty, which have more events, they like the difference is not that big already. So that we know that. So what I'm saying is that in order to get the right result, you need to have most of the events that are actually generated during the managing the positions. And for this, you need to have all the liquidity pools. You need to have the right events for the all the all the events in the chain. So at least for open position, closing position, and adding liquidity, I think. And from what I see, so um, probably you miss the part that there are multiple events for the same kind of job, and it's not always the most obvious one. For example, here not close position, but close position is empty. If empty is actually the one which you use the most. That's I think that was the answer on like why this solution is giving the that like not all the results, but just few of them. So was it the answer for a question? You can.
Yes, yes. That was so helpful. That was really, really helpful. But
Great.
in the future, how do you know? Do you sort of go and inspect it on a source scan, or how do you understand that? How do you even
Uh-huh.
know that
Yeah,
the
actually,
multiple events are doing the same thing?
so that basically there are two different ways to understand that. One is I use both of them actually. I can say I just use one. No, it's not here. Yeah. So first of all, in the just looking through this list, I think it was fair to expect that you would try to look through it. And you see that definitely there are different methods for the same thing. So for example, you see here, add liquidity, add liquidity, add liquidity, add liquidity. So you probably should expect that some of them are used more, some of them less, but it may be combination of them. So just the common sense. Like, I mean, it might be the part of it, it's just experience that you know that sometimes there are versions and not it's not guaranteed it's only used one, and you need to actually look through the tables maybe to see if the most of the events are there. So the second thing what I did, like having these such as so that Bean is also saying that she's not calculating all the events, but what I think what was important that for the open and close position, the right events were there, because for the rest, we just need to check if there is at least one event, and this is very permissive. So even if you're missing something. Yeah, sorry for interruption. So like the one thing is just looking through the table, see that there are more than one table, like it looks like it more than one method for doing the same. Then you basically either you just go in one by one, and that's what I did, and trying if they actually if you actually have this kind of events right now for the analyzed range of data. And because like if you go 1.5 year ago, you would see different events because it's changing. So it also could like, or you just trying to write the script that's working with all of them in a correct way, or you are understanding, okay, for this range we just need this one, and this is covering like 99%. You don't care about anything else. That this is one way to do this. The second one, I actually took one specific wallet, which I know the operations that what were the operations, and check if they're actually. So I wrote the script, I tried to capture all the events, and then I checked if they're for the events I know. For example, you can go on SoulScan for a wallet and see what is parsed there. Go one by one for position, and see if your script gives the same events or not. So that this is actually one thing I also did. So like I think it's more or less straightforward in this way. You just need to look from different angles, and do not stop until it's all seem as it working. That's correct, at least, at least for you. Yeah, but I mean, it's no like a super secret or something. Just, I mean, it might be there is a little bit easier way here, but basically you're just looking through many tables and checking if the results are meeting the expectations. Like SoulScan is different parser. It's very good to use it to check it, but it's also not guaranteed that they are working 100% correct. So sometimes you can find something that is not parsed there, but in your code it's working. So does this answer your question?
Yes, yes. Thank you very much. It does.
Yeah. So yeah, and I mean, you are very close, like you obviously see it, and that just by doing few tweaks and checks, like you probably will be one of the participants with successful solution. And I saw that in the previous um, tasks you actually was. So I think it's very. I mean, the complexity, the difficulty is different from task to task, and it's different type. Like here, it's more exploring. Not the query is big, but it's relatively simple, from what I understand. But you need to have more attention to the events, basically. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think that's it. The if there are no more questions, let's meet next Wednesday, and I think that me and Edmund, we will present some new task, and I hope it will be at least the same level of interesting as this one, because I actually I like this one, yeah, because I like this type of more exploring type of tasks. You actually need to read and check, understand what's there. Okay, so let's meet next Wednesday.